Welcome to the CX Fanatics podcast, the show that helps D2C businesses increase revenue, referrals, and retention through exceptional customer experience. Tune in weekly for interviews, insights, and inspiration that will catapult not only your profits, but your growth. I'm your host, Elisa Connor. Let's get into the show. Hello, and welcome to this week's show. This is a continuation of episode 174, or the last key point of 174. If you missed that, that was last week's episode. And so I will link to that below in the comments and in the show notes, where we talked about 3 ways to consistently increase your wine club subscriptions or subscriptions of any kind of business. So if you missed that one, you're going to want to tune to that, because this is expanding on key point number 3, which was personalization of your marketing and sales material to customize the relationship and experience that you have with your customers and potential clients. So if you missed that one, you might want to go back and listen to that one and then come back and listen to this one, or vice versa. But this one will expand on that. So if you're new to the show, I'm Lisa Connor, and I own a company called DTC Growth Club, where I specifically work with businesses to optimize and create subscription models to increase their revenue and give them their time back. So thanks so much for tuning in today, and we are going to jump right into it. So one of the best ways to start customizing and personalizing an experience is through email marketing. Now, wait, before you go too crazy and go, I have too many emails already. I don't want to send more emails because I don't like getting emails. Let me just share a fact with you on email marketing and the return on investment for email marketing. So currently, email marketing has the highest return of investment than any other marketing tactic out there. And there's a couple of reasons that I promote email marketing to businesses that I work with. And that is because it is one of the few, if not only, places that you actually have ownership of your audience and of the people that are on that list. Now, does that mean that people don't abuse their email lists? Absolutely not. People constantly. Does that not mean that people buy email lists that should not be sold? Absolutely, constantly. But when email marketing is done well and done right, and you're trying to create a personalized experience, it can not only significantly increase your sales and revenue, but it can also significantly increase the amount of referrals and retention that you have with your clients, because you're taking the time to build a relationship with them over time, not sending them constant sales emails. Just read that between the lines. And so, of course, email and personalizing email interactions and the capabilities to do this are so high at this point, and yet people are so often not taking advantage of them. And so I have always been a huge proponent of email marketing and the potential that it has for businesses. So if you're struggling with retention, this is where I'm going to tell you to spend some time. If you're struggling with leads or getting people enrolled or engaged with your subscription or your wine club membership, this is where you need to start. Because chances are, a couple of things that I have experienced in the industry, specifically the wine industry, and I'm not even going to specifically the wine industry, but I'm going to say most subscription models struggle with this as well. It's typically, this is what happens. You will go and purchase a product, and then they will either pitch you the subscription model right along with the product. And I'm telling you right now that if nobody's bought your product and they haven't tried it, they're not going to sign up for a subscription. They're just not. And if they do, that's like the needle in a haystack. Like, the majority of people are not going to do that because they don't know if they can trust you. They don't know if they like the product. And so the companies that do that are putting themselves at a disadvantage, because they are already negating any kind of trust that you might be building with their brand, because they're just making the assumption that you want to subscribe. And you can't assume that. Now, a better way to do that would be to follow up with the people that purchase from you and see how they're doing, how the product is lasting. And if you do have a product that is consumable, then use a reasonable gauge for how long it will take someone to get through that first initial product. A week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I don't know. It depends on the product. And then follow up with them. Don't send them the product, know it's delivered, and one day later say, hey, you want to renew? Because no, they don't. They probably haven't even gotten out of their mailbox yet. And so when we're creating those emails, we are doing this like, I always say, everybody wants the easy button. Everybody wants to push the easy button. And I kind of crack up because my mom has a friend, she gets so mad when her friend says this, but she's like, I just want my life to be easy. And I was like, she's like, life isn't easy. I'm like, well, I guess it is for her because she's decided it is. But that is the epitome of what people want their business and work life to be. They want the easy button. Well, there is no easy button when it comes to relationship building. It takes time. It takes attention. It takes thoughtfulness. It takes curiosity. And it takes you putting in the extra mile to actually build relationships with customers. Now, the payoff for that is substantial because you're not only going to have them purchase more throughout the lifetime of their alignment with you and your product, but they're more than likely going to be so overwhelmed that somebody's paying attention to them when most brands don't, or they don't do it right, that they're going to tell the world about it. And so what does that do for your marketing? Well, that means you have less money you have to dole out for leads, less money you have to pay your sales team to go close things, because you've got a whole pipeline of people that are coming from the people that you have invested in to begin with. And then when you invest in their friends and family, the same way that you invested in them, it just amplifies. And so this is one of the simplest and easiest ways for you to start to engage and customize someone's journey with you. And people just don't do it. I don't want to, I don't like to throw people under the bus, but sometimes you just gotta. There are experts in customer experience who don't do this well. And to me, that is such a misnomer of like, if you're an expert, don't you think you should be doing this well? And an example is this past summer, I signed up for a kind of state of the industry event. And it was like multiple webinars from different experts in customer experience. And the content was, for the most part, mediocre. There was one presentation that was really, really good. The rest were kind of meh. But the kicker is like, I didn't get one reminder. I didn't get one email. I didn't say, hey, remember to put this on your calendar. Hey, we're going to meet. Like, there was no follow-up. And to me, I was like, if you're wanting me to become a customer and get your certification on customer experience, don't you think you should have this shiitake figured out? And they don't. And so if you want one way to differentiate yourself in the marketplace and to start to build and customize relationships and personalize the way that your brand interacts, it's going to be email. And I would say it trumps text marketing, because texts are, the way that I look at text marketing is it's quick, fast, easy, and it's not as in depth as you can get with an email. Like if you send a text, especially to Gen Z, that's longer than like 4 words, they're just going to delete it and not read it. I'm telling you right now, I have 3 Gen Z kids and they're like, yeah, way too long. Don't have time for this. But if you send an email, it's much more likely that they're going to actually read through that, get the information, and especially in a business setting or a professional setting. And so here are some ways that you can personalize those email interactions. Number one, you can personalize the subject line. I don't know if you know that, but you can add a name field into the subject line. I wouldn't overuse this, but it is a nice touch, and a lot of people aren't doing that. And then always, you want to somehow personalize the introduction of that email. Don't have it be to ma'am or sir, or you know what I mean? Like, put their name in there. It's not that hard. And if you haven't figured that out, like, we need to get on a call because this is simple stuff. And then like the other piece of that is like not only customizing within the message, with, specific examples that relate to them or to their purchase or to your interactions with them. And there's ways to track this. I'm not going to go into the details of like figuring out every little thing that you can track about a customer or about an experience that someone has with you, even before they're a customer, but there are ways to do that. But tracking that information empowers you to then go back and send them specific content based on their self-qualifying interests and the things that they have shared with you about what they're interested in. And so let's put this into a specific example. If you sell flowers and you send out a Valentine's Day email all about the benefits of pink roses and why they're superior to red roses for Valentine's Day and the meaning behind them and how many people buy pink roses and why they're the new it flower for Valentine's Day versus red roses. And you have in there, like, if you want to learn more about pink roses that are grown in your neck of the woods, click this link and we have this article. Well, number one, they have told you two things if they click that link. One, they've read your email. Two, actually three things. Two, they like pink roses because they want to go learn more about them. And three, they want to know about pink roses in their area. So you've gathered three pieces of information. Chances are, if you're like most businesses, you've done nothing with those three pieces of information. Whereas those could be a plethora of one, not only additional content that you could be creating for social media, creating emails around, creating offers around, but two, it's a way for you to personalize the way you talk to that person. Because if Sally over here is like, I don't even like pink roses and didn't click on one thing in there, or you had an email that says, hey, settle the debate. Are you a team pink, team red? And she chose team red, then you better not send her one more damn email about pink roses because she likes red ones. And she is probably irritated that you just went on this whole tirade about pink roses to begin with. So do you see what I'm saying about email being powerful? And those interactions tell you so much about your customers, about potential customers, and yet most of the information is either one, never gathered, or two, ignored. And what if you have not only power to collect that information, imagine what you could do with it. If you just took the time to think through the entire picture of what this one email could mean and where you could send people on their journey next to create a personalized experience. Because now that you know Sally likes red roses, your next question can be, okay, well, do you like red roses or yellow roses? And if she's like, yeah, actually I like yellow, then X day on the red, talk about the yellow. Next time you have a yellow rose promotion, say for Easter, then you're going to want to make sure Sally's eyeballs are on that yellow rose promotion and all the reasons she wants to buy yellow roses and how she can use them on her table and blah, 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 blah. You get the idea. That's what I mean about specificity. And 90% of subscription models are never going there. They never even go beyond, hey, we saw you bought this. Want to sign up for a subscription? No, because the last thing anybody wants is another flippin' subscription. There are apps now. I can't think of what it's called now. I hear it advertised all the time, but it's like this, it's an app to get rid of all the subscriptions that you pay for that you don't use. Hello? Like, hello, McFly. Do you not see the writing on the wall here? Like, people don't want another subscription, but they want to be engaged with brands that want to engage with them and care enough to personalize and customize their content and their relationship with that person. People want relationships with people, yet most businesses will not take the time to create those relationships. So that is what this whole episode is. Obviously, I'm on a soapbox about it because I'm very passionate about it. So when you're looking at your email, those are specific ways that you can personalize it. One, you can do the subject line. Everybody does it. Most people do that. But if you're not, do it at least once in a while, put their name in there. And do not send an email that's like, hey, Sally, buy this next bottle of soap. Like, get creative, people. Come on, get outside the box. You don't have to be selling all the time. You can create value. And then, when you get really specific in there, you can get really specific about the kind of content you're sending to people and send them on a journey that is meant for them and not just anyone. So number two, the second way that you can personalize experiences is through social media. How many times do you see a social media post? I see this all the time where, especially on Instagram, I see this all the time where people will say, click the link, or they'll put a link in their description, or they'll say, click the link in their bio to send them to whatever. And then you have to go and hunt for the link. And that's not a personalized experience. And most people are not going to take the time to do that, especially if you go, and I see this a lot with businesses where they'll have like 25 links listed in their bio. It's like, number one, I don't want to even read through all these damn links. And two, this isn't getting me to where I want to go. Or another one, this is so annoying. And it happens all the time. If you go to Instagram and you're watching a reel and it's a recipe reel, who has gotten sucked into those recipe reels? Please raise your hand. Tell me I'm not alone. And you go and you're like, oh, that totally looks awesome. And I kind of want to make that like for dinner tonight, but do I have all the ingredients? So you go click on it and it sends you, first of all, it sends you back to their page. And then you have to click the link in their bio. And then you click it and it's like this big link thing. Well, then you have to search through so many pictures to try and find even remember what it was you were going to make, because by now you had 4 other things you've had to do. That finally you're just like, forget it, I'm not making it for dinner, we're getting takeout. Because it's ridiculous. It's like, instead, why not figure out a different way to communicate and start building a conversation with those people? And one of the best ways to do that is to have a direct message. Hey, you want the recipe? Send me a direct message and I'll make sure I get you the link. And you can automate a lot of these things. You can also get really specific about creating conversation around specific products instead of just like, hey, we sell shampoo. Great. That's nice. Everyone uses shampoo, but what makes your shampoo different? Well, we sell shampoo for people with curly hair, and we make sure that their hair isn't all dried out and it looks great all the time. And we don't have plastic bottles. And so we're very earth friendly, and, on and on and on. Tell us about your favorite reasons, for buying shampoo. And you're, putting out information that is really specific to a specific person where they can talk back. Like, what do you not like about your shampoo now when you have curly hair? Well, it makes either my curls flat, or it makes them, so they're all dried out. And I don't like either of those things. And I don't want to wash my hair every day. And all of the things that are interactive. And so when you're asking those questions, instead of like, here's our brand new blue shampoo, no one cares. No one cares about your blue shampoo. They want to know how it impacts their life. And so if you're going to put out social media and want people to engage with it, give them a reason to engage. And it goes with any product out there. It could be a wine club. It could be, a streaming advertising. It could be, or a streaming application. It could be food boxes. It could be anything. And so the takeaways for social media on this, if you're going to try and personalize an experience, is 1, make it easy for the consumer. And 2, to get what they want. And 2, involve them in the conversation. Don't just talk at them, talk with them. And a lot of ways that you can answer or get the information out there is to create a chatbot. And so if you don't have a chatbot, or you're not utilizing your chatbot to its full extent, a lot of the software used in the wine industry for e-commerce and wine club delivery and order processing and compliance and those sorts of things, they have chatbots that are built in. Now, whether or not you can utilize those on social media, I don't know, but chances are that if you can't, you can find an integration to make them talk to each other and utilize that to all go into your CRM, so that when you're wanting to communicate with your audience, all of that information should live in one central hub. There are 2 different kinds of email service providers when you're looking at CRMs. One is subscriber-based, where it's actually individualized by a subscriber, and the other is list-based. I am not a fan of list-based email service providers for one reason alone. It provides a horrible customer experience, because if you have Mary Jo over here, and she signed up for this email list of, I want to know about pink roses. And then she signed up for this email list over here. I want to know about yellow roses. The system doesn't say Mary Jo likes pink and yellow roses. It puts Mary Jo on two separate lists. So whenever you're emailing, she's going to get two separate sets of emails. One about all the pink roses and one about all the yellow roses. And that's a lot of emails for one person. Whereas if you have a subscriber based, like ConvertKit, for example, Mary Jo is your person. And then you can tag Mary Jo and say, well, Mary Jo likes pink and she likes yellow. And so then Mary Jo, if you're running a promotion on pink roses, she'll get an email about pink roses. If you're running a promotion about a different color of roses that's not a tag for her, she's not going to get those emails because she hasn't displayed interest in those roses. Whereas if you're only running a promotion on yellow roses, she's not going to get the yellow and the pink. She's only going to get one set of emails. And so this is a lot of information, but do not mean to go down this rabbit hole, but a subscriber-based system ensures that your subscribers are getting the personalized and customized information that they have told you that they're interested in versus getting it twice or not getting it at all, or even worse, because Mary Jo's on these two separate lists, you're now paying MailChimp or whoever twice because she's showing up as a separate subscriber on each list. And that can end up costing you lots and lots of money depending on how big your email list is. So lots of reasons to not go with a system that is list-based versus subscriber-based unless you really know what you're doing and you can move those people automatically into one central hub. And most people don't. That doesn't happen. So, but all of that to say that there are ways to connect a chatbot through social media to your CRM and possibly using your software system that you already have. So I'm not familiar with every type of software out there. There are many that I am familiar with, but more often than not, you can get them to talk to your CRM simultaneously. And then if you have the right person on your team, they can then filter out, so that you're getting the information to the people that want that information. And you have a very clean backend CRM, yet you're collecting as much information as possible to create a personalized experience. So let's look at an example of what a social media interaction with a chatbot would look like. If we go back to our example of the recipe and say it's last night we just made this recipe called egg roll in a bowl, which was awesome. It's like an egg roll without all the wrapper. So very clean. Of course, I changed it up because I have no ability to make a recipe without changing it. It's I don't know, a curse or a blessing. I don't know which, but so it's a very clean recipe, very low on carbs. But long story short is if I went and found this recipe and it was on Instagram and they did a reel, what they could put is like, send us a message or leave a comment or whatever that says egg roll in a bowl, and we'll send you the recipe. And so what that would do is open up a chatbot that automatically is triggered by egg roll in a bowl comment or anything like it. And then it would put them through an automation where you would send them the recipe. And then it gives you the opportunity to continue to have a conversation with them in their messages through the chatbot when you have similar recipes, or if you want to tell them about, your affiliate link with the chopstick company or that's running a promotion or whatever it might be. I don't know. I'm just flying by the seat of my pants on this example, but you get the idea. And then you also have the opportunity over there to offer them the option to be part of your mailing list or to join you on an upcoming cooking class, or I don't know, whatever it is that you have coming up that you've strategized for the next piece of your business. And so that is just one example of how you can not only use a direct message where you're having a conversation and you're doing it one-on-one, or you're using a chatbot to deliver that recipe so they're not having to go search through multiple links and click on a bunch of things and try to find the picture, and then they just finally give up. Instead, they're like, oh, sweet, I have this recipe, I can print it out, or I can just look at it on my phone and it goes directly there and blah, blah, blah. And then, it works both ways and you can start to have that conversation. And then the next time you have a similar recipe, maybe you reach out and go, hey, you might have missed this one, but now we have gluten-free lo mein. Today's recipe, chicken lo mein, gluten-free. Thought you might want to check it out. Want the recipe? Yes, here, blah, blah, blah. But it's a way for you to personalize those interactions, because now you know that they're interested in that kind of recipe. You can send them a different kind of recipe. So that would be an example of how to personalize your social media interactions. And then the third way that you can start to personalize experiences is by personalizing rewards or offers that you give to people that are customers or subscribers to your email list. So the third way would be to personalize different rewards or discounts or offers to people that are either already in your sales funnel or that are already customers that are purchasing, by giving them, for example, loyalty discounts. So if they've ordered once, and I used an example of this in my last episode where I was talking about a different winery, and I don't have the name off the top of my head, but I'll have a couple of other examples at the end of this episode too that we'll get into in a minute. But basically it was like, oh, if you sign up for our wine club, well, you can expect that you're going to get a $50 discount on your next order too. And so it's a loyalty discount. So like, not only are you going to order, but if you continue to order, we're going to reward you for ordering again. And so there are different ways that this is done. One that comes to mind is that in the stamping world, I know I talk a lot about the crafting world, but it's just they do such a great job, and some companies do a really great job with this. But the one that comes to mind is, I know you've heard me talk about Gina K before, but she has a discount, or it's not even a discount. She has a reward that she offers people when they spend $75. So at $50, the reward is you get free shipping. And when you are purchasing in that industry, free shipping is not the norm. In shipping, and I understand it from the company perspective, because shipping can be really expensive, especially if you're sending out all these different orders. Even if it's not super heavy, you're looking at like $7 per customer nationally, and then it's even more internationally. And so that's the reason most companies don't offer free shipping. But she does. She's like, if you spend $50, you have shown that you are a friend of Gina K, lack of a better term. And so we want to reward you with free shipping. Well, then if you spend another $25, you not only get free shipping, but you also get an exclusive stamp set for free. And usually those stamp sets will come out like the next month or 2 months later, and you can purchase them, but they're like, I don't know, a $10 or $12 value. So she's basically giving you a $10 or $12 product for free. And so that's a way to boost sales by personalizing, the reward based on their behavior and giving them a discount because they're already purchasing. And most companies don't do that. And so that's why I wanted to use it as a unique example, as something you could mimic in your business. And what does that look like in your business? And a lot of times, if you're looking for inspiration, a great way to do it is to look at the bigger companies. One that comes to mind is Bath and Body Works. I usually don't order. I like a couple of their candles, but I usually don't order a lot from them. For just, most of their stuff is too stinky. for my household. It's like it's too strong. Nothing against them if you love them, but most of their scents are just too strong for me. But they do a really great job of creating additional sales, generating additional sales, and also delivering loyalty discounts and promotional offers, as well as Kohl's. Kohl's is another one. I'm sure you've heard of Kohl's Cash. Well, that's a loyalty discount. It's, you purchased, here's your Kohl's Cash. I just ordered some stuff for Christmas gifts today for my mom and my aunt, and sure enough, got an email afterwards. Here's your $20 worth of Kohl's Cash. Well, what does that get you to do? Get you to go back when the Kohl's Cash is valid and purchase more stuff. And so that is a really brief example of a loyalty discount, and how can you mimic that in your own business so you're driving people back and you're personalizing their experience with your company. And then, using Kohl's as that same example, and I actually have other examples, but this just kind of came into my head when I was talking, is that, you can give them access to special releases. So one of the ways that Kohl's does this is, I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but Kohl's actually will offer two different types of discounts. One is for people that use their credit card, and one is for people that use a different payment type. And so they are giving people an additional discount to use their credit card. And a lot of companies do this, but you could create a special access to, say, a special release product. So, for example, if you're a winery and you have a special vintage that you're releasing, you can personalize that. Say it's a special white blend or white wine release, and you want to offer that only to people that have purchased white wine in the past, or people that are wine club members. And so you create a special release only for those people. And then if it goes well, then you can expand it out to the rest of, your audience or the public, or however you want to promote that. But then you also can have feedback from your audience who already has access to that special release, and gather, testimonials about their experience with that wine. Did you like it? What did you like about it? And then that helps you promote it outside, or determine whether or not it's going to become a new product in your offering. And then that leads to the last point. I kind of flowed right into that, which is giving people early access to new products or services. And a lot of times you can test with a special release, and then you can just provide it to another group of people as a bonus for their loyalty. And so what would that look like? If we're talking about, let's go back to the wine example. If you have this special vintage or special release of white wine, you only offer it to your wine club as a special release. And then once you have feedback from that, then you only offer it as a new product to other people that have purchased wine that are not in your wine club. And then if it goes over from there, then it's a good choice, and then you can offer it publicly as a new product. And so that's a way that would play out in the marketplace. So let's go. I have a few examples to walk through of people that are doing this well, and specifically with loyalty and personalization, that is helping them not only get new subscribers, but also helping them to keep subscribers that are already there. So this is such a fine little, it's such a fun little brand, and I ran across it when I was doing some research, but it's called Frog's Leap, and their wine club membership is called the Fellowship of the Frog, which is, it took me a couple minutes to figure it out, but it was actually very clever how they did it. Well, their wine club membership is one of the ones that was really unique in that it offers quite a few benefits to people that are in the membership, but also have a lot of raving fans about their membership. And the comments that people leave and the testimonies that they left really kind of explain why it works so well, and they're really complimentary. And then the other piece is that they were really good about spelling out exactly what you get with a wine club membership. The delivery of the benefits could have been a little bit better. You had to click on these pictures to actually get the benefits. So I would have, like, if I were designing that website, I probably would have changed it around a little bit and said, great, you can have the benefits here, but you also need to have them spelled out somewhere. Because if you didn't click on the dots, you wouldn't know what the benefits were. But they did a really great job of spelling them out. It just, the delivery of the exact things that you get with a wine club membership were not clear if you didn't go seek them out. So, but their wine club membership does some of the things that we've talked about. It gives first access to wine club members to wines. So if they have special releases or they have a new vintage that's out, their wine club members get first dibs, which they should, because they're the ones that are in the system as like, hey, we're your raving fans and we love your wine and we've signed up for this membership. So we trust in you and we trust that you're going to take care of us. They also get wine discounts and preferred shipping, which is really nice. It's kind of going back to what Gina K does. Like she provides better shipping or free shipping to people for that are part of her loyalty program. They get member-only events, and they also get a little bonus in their shipments that they just kind of refer to it as a surprise. And then they also give them a couple of in-person wine experiences throughout the year. So if they want to come to the winery and have a tour and visit and all those things, then they get complimentary access for, I think it's twice a year is what it said. So there are a lot of benefits to becoming part of their wine membership, and they've done a really great job of spelling those out. So that's, again, going back to the previous episode. If you missed that, go dive into that. It was number 174. So this was another favorite of mine, and it was kind of funny because in my household, this was like a big end of year thing that I didn't even know it was going to turn into. But Spotify does a great job with their Wrapped campaign. And if you haven't done Spotify Wrapped, go check it out, because it's probably there waiting for you and you didn't even ask for it. But this is a great way. I would assume that they do it for everyone, but maybe it's, I have premium, so I'm not sure. But either way, they have created the ultimate personalized experience. Not only do they include the number of hours that you've spent, and they calculate it to the number of days, but they tell you like your most listened to songs and the most listened to genres and how many genres you listen to and all of those things. But then they also have personalized messages from the artists that you listen to the most. And so they've really thought through this whole experience, and it's really quite interesting and elaborate. And they've done a really good job. So if you haven't checked out Spotify Wrap, I would totally go check it out. See if you have it this year. If you don't listen to Spotify, you're probably not going to have much Wrapped, but ask your friends who listen to Spotify and they'll show you theirs. But really great personalized experience. So last but not least is HelloFresh, and they do a meal delivery program. If you're not familiar with them, they have the option for you to go in and choose how many meals you want for the week, month, whatever you decide. They take into consideration dietary restrictions, allergies, the number of people that you're feeding, so you can choose the right subscription plan. And then once you choose that, they not only deliver the different meals, but then they follow that up with customized emails that can talk about different ways that you could use those ingredients to create different recipes. And they send you recipes to go with the meals that you order and all of those sorts of things. And they personalize it based on like what your plan looks like, and like, how many people you're feeding, as well as, the food interests that you've chosen. So they do a really good job of personalizing their experience with their customers too, which is probably why they have a much higher reputation than some of the other um, food delivery programs out there. And HelloFresh has a very good reputation. Before we wrap up this episode, let's just do a recap real quick on what we covered. So the things that we talked about to personalize experiences for our current customers and also future customers are to personalize email interactions, to figure out ways to personalize and automate our social media interactions so that we're delivering customized content and information to our audience. And then last but not least is to personalize our rewards and loyalty programs. So if you've enjoyed this episode, I would love for you to share it with a friend and hopefully they would get some benefits. Leave a comment below if there's something that stood out to you and that you're going to implement right away. And more importantly, I would love to know what you're going to take action on first. Are you going to dive into personalizing and customizing your email interactions? Are you going to work a little harder on social media to customize and personalize those and maybe set up a chatbot? Or are you going to figure out a way to personalize your rewards and loyalty program? So leave a comment below and let me know. Now, I wanted to tell you what is coming up in an upcoming, I have upcoming episodes. So one I referred to in my previous episode, and that was 3 ways to attract Generation Z buyers. This is the next generation of buyers. If you aren't paying attention to them, I highly recommend you tune into this episode so that you know why they buy differently and what you can do to plan and strategize around that new buying demographic. And if you haven't plugged into it yet, good idea to plug into it because they're coming and they're already here. And then the next episode after that is one that sort of goes along with this one, and that is how to decrease subscription churn and increase profit. In the meantime, I am wishing you all a very happy holiday season. It is wrapping up towards the end of December here, and I will be back next week with another episode. In the meantime, take care, be well, and stay safe. Did you miss something in the show today? Didn't have time to take notes listening on the go? No worry, I've taken notes for you. You can head on over to dtcgrowthclub.com/podcast, and there will be links and a description to today's episode. In the meantime, take care, stay well, and I'll see you soon.